Okay. I hope we're going.
And am I trying it for free?
You are.
Is that
This
my
is your
plan?
30
Okay.
days. So, but you're going to register. So you're not going to go to free trial because you're already set in. So you're going to go to login
Okay.
and just log in with that password that I emailed you.
Oh, God. I mean, honestly. Why are they working?
Oh, they're on. Oh, that's workers. I thought you had like a.
No. It's here. No. They're painting, but I thought they were done with that. Okay. Your account has been. Here it is. Oh, I need to know which email that you used.
It's the coach one.
The coach one. Okay. Would I like to? I don't think so. We're so glad you're here to look around. Would I like a tour? Generally don't want a tour. I generally want to skip it. That's my general philosophy on life. Okay, see if I can figure it out. Relationships, business, treasures, release immediately. Okay. Let's say business of life. So what are my options? Money in, money out. Oh, isn't this clever? Oh, okay. So I can put money. Oh, that's great.
So if you were to click on it, go to new entry.
So I have an account at, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
it can be totally false.
It's probably not necessary. So can I skip the address? Let's see. Because that would be annoying and complicated, especially if I were older. Ooh. And let's say I have a checking account. Oh, okay. Now. Haha. It's really clever. I'm getting really excited about this, actually.
Oh God. I love it.
So part of the issue is always going to be like sitting down and pulling out the details, right? Living trust. What are my options? Okay. I have all sort of complex names. So the thing I'm most interested in as a potential user is just how secure is this going to be?
So it's on a private cloud currently.
Yeah.
So my contract right now is with Armor, which is a cybersecurity company. and it's a private cloud, so it's not AWS or Google Docs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So they have built, sort of a military grade system where it's watched 24/7 for unusual or malicious activity. So because it's a private cloud, that's sort of the first step, is to put it in, the most secure environment I can. Separately, how you manage your password is up to you. Who knows it. Third, if you're noticing, and you may or may not have, there's no place to put an account number or a social security number. It's just asking what you have and where it is. So everything has a notes or instructions. You can put any information you want, but it's not prompting you to put in a particularly coded number. If you want to upload any of your insurance policies or trust documents, you could always black out part of the number. It sort of lets you determine, putting it on a private cloud, encrypting everything, and doing two-factor verification sort of to set it up, is what it is right now. What you put in, what you're comfortable putting online, is up to you. So the research I've gotten is that people in their 30s, they don't blink. Everything's online.
They just do
totally
it.
happy with it. Same with people in their 50s, like their parents, late 50s. People in their 40s are like, whoa.
My parents.
Well, so I
That
did
would
it
be
with my
very
parents, and that's a
uncomfortable.
different issue. Like everybody, a lot of the feedback is from people. So I'm at 48, and a lot of my friends are like, oh, my parents should really do this. My parents should really do this. And my response is like, they totally should. They have a very different comfort level with technology, and and the security of it. And separately, they have a very different. They're not particularly tech savvy on the whole. There will always be people who are tech savvy at 70. But, my mom was really into it, mostly just for one single reason, because they've downsized twice. And she was like, I have plans, funeral plans, and Daddy won't talk to me. And I need to know that my plans are going to get out if something happens to me before him. You know what I mean? He's like, it's a topic my dad won't discuss. And she's like, but there's money put aside, and I have this, this is what I want for a service or whatever. And I don't actually know what her plans are. I just got her in there, and she typed in her plans, the particular church, the particular, place where they have a plot, that sort of stuff. But that's really all she used it for. She's not going to do...
Okay, the friends and neighbors, I think, is incomplete because it's friends and neighbors I help. But as a parent, I feel like it would be really valuable to include, it would be friends and neighbors. There should be a toggle that is not friends and neighbors it should be, I help this neighbor, or this neighbor helps me.
Yes. Yep.
So,
yep.
Because as a parent, if something happened to me, I would want my family to know how to reach, like, these are the 5 people that you're going to call who are going to help with my children in this moment.
Okay.
They'll know, they can drive them places, they know where the sports fields are, whatever. I need to have surgery, and here's the information that you're going to be able to use. And here's my best friend from college, and she will come if you need her, whatever. And also, like, maybe I'm just continuing to go with that. So if I die, here are the 20 people that must be invited to my funeral. So I'm thinking that should be in here.
So they would be that, if you were to go to there and final wishes, this is sort of the funeral. This is like the funeral folder. So if you were to edit your funeral procedure, let's say that should have popped up instantly. Would you mind going back to buried? Yeah, that should have happened. So I don't have a particular place for like guests. It could always go in a note folder right now, but that's
Yeah,
another idea. Okay.
I think so. I'm thinking because this should guide me for the things to not forget to put. So a note means I have to remember to do it, and it also means flexibility. But I think it should say, please be sure to tell these people that I've died, or in the friends section. Yeah, so what I'm thinking around the friends is like, here's who can help with the kids, but I'm in the hospital, and I need, I don't know, I have Alzheimer's, and you need people to get my mind to come back to me. Who are the people that you should call and to have visit me or whatever?
Okay.
I'm thinking this is not just like a neat place to put stuff, but also like, don't forget.
Right.
Right.
Yes, it is supposed to be thorough enough to have sort of a complete, report at the end. Yeah, I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it when I built it. Let's think that through though, because right now it's so private that if someone were to say, you know what, Morgan's in the hospital, she's not able to make decisions, they don't get all this. They get advance directives and funeral, and that's it. And then if something actually happens to you and you pass away, we get a death certificate because that's like the legal end all, and then they get it. So I had this conversation with my own personal attorney a long time ago, and she's like, this doesn't really help me enough. It doesn't help me if I have cancer and I need people to step in and pay my bills.
Yes, that's what I was thinking actually.
That's right.
I don't care half as much about it because if I'm dead, I'm dead. But it's the in the between.
Yeah, it's the incapacitated.
So could you? I would want to be able to say, and I don't know where it goes, but I would want to be able to say, here, like, this person has access to my account.
Yeah. That's just a joint account. So it's built to be very personal, but it may need to be open to have the option of a family account. Or just giving certain people certain access to certain categories.
Or also, ideally, like, under these circumstances, these people can have access. Kind of like a whatever that is, if I get confused, but the advance directive,
right?
Or, under these circumstances, suddenly I become conservator of, my dad's everything, and in that moment, I'm screwed because I have to go digging through his file cabinets, which he pointed out, like, here's this and here's that, but
right, the amount of work and time to figure it out.
And it's paper, and I have to go there, and and then also treasures along the way. So favorite pictures, I think there should be a. So this, I'm going to load pictures, right?
Yeah.
So what if I want to say, I keep my albums on Shutterfly?
Right. You can add a note.
This is a lot of work, right?
And it's not really meant to be your phone. Your phone is where you have 10,000 pictures. This is like the one or two special ones, that baby in the hospital because it lets you write 2 or 3 sentences about the picture and why it's important, or if you can create a journal entry from it. It's more meant to be when someone's going through all your pictures, like, these are the ones that meant something, these 7, or 20 or whatever.
Right.
But yes, for the reason.
So I think that would be valuable to write this in some way in like a note that says, here, you've got tens of thousands of pictures along the way. Are there
Right.
You know,
To know how to better use this folder, I think.
are there 10 that signify the most, meaningful moments in your life, or, something like that?
Yeah.
So identify it as, because can you imagine like the volume of data that you'd end up with if someone just says, okay, I'm just going to transfer it all, which probably you don't want, right?
Well, that isn't the idea behind it. But I think there are areas in the site that need more instruction or description.
So I would say, like, here are my 20 favorite, and then here's where I keep my others, which might just be like my phone, but I personally upload them to somewhere as backup, and like there's a hard drive, and where is that hard drive, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And I also feel like, wait, what happened? I ended up at the dashboard.
Oh,
there's nothing.
So let's just refresh. That's just a connection issue. Yeah, let's just see what happens. That's a total connection. How funny.
Looks like I have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it looks like we have 4 bars, but that is. Why would that be? Why would I suddenly not open this page? All right, so I don't know what happened, but here we are.
Okay. So things in the attic, favorite pictures, hidden. Okay, so and then again, I like the idea of more guidance.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it could be a button that you click so that you like. It could be a drop-down menu, but what?
What are we supposed to do here?
No, not so well. Maybe, but because I think it's clear what it's for. But what mustn't you forget to list? So, like, I don't know, what lots of people want to tell you where it is. Like, I don't know, their wedding dress, their wedding ring, their, great grandmother's, items that belong to ancestors. I don't know what that would be, but it would be really interesting if you had a list of things that lots of people like to list here. So that, because I think that would speed up the process and make it less overwhelming.
Okay.
Picture, and then same like videos. Yeah, same thing. That's the same concept as the photos. And here's where I keep my photos. Hidden treasures. Location of hiding place.
So there are a couple things that are not catching your eye. And I'll just point them out because just for the sake of time. This didn't catch your eye, the wizard.
Well,
and like the drop down. It did, but you didn't, not enough to click on it, maybe because you were just exploring.
I would think the wizard would be to help me.
It is.
I'm just not a wizard kind of gal, but it'll take 20 minutes when you.
Well, and that. So it asks one question from each category just to get you in it and to.
Oh, now I'm stuck.
Well, you have to answer yes or no.
Yes, I do.
And then you can answer no and keep going, or yes.
Oh, it's defaulting to yes, but I have to click it. Okay. No, I mean, yes, I do, but I definitely not want to put him there. So why is this valuable?
So it's the prompt of working you through the whole site, and you can, after each category, you can get out. It gets you moving. It starts you. If you are a wizard sort of person, you're going to add one. It's more valuable to me as a business owner because once you enter a little bit of information, you're probably more likely to stay than if you look around and don't enter anything, and then when it comes time to renew, you're like, there's nothing in there anyway. I'll just delete this whole service.
Yeah.
So, but that is very secondary. The origin of it was that when you look and see 37 categories, it just feels like too much. Okay. So I broke each one down to be very small. Like you quickly got in and out of the tax one. You can quickly get in and out of the financial, those certain little ones. And then this was sort of to say, let me help you. Let me start you off. I'll ask you one question from each category. You can get out at the end. So that was the value. The value was to make it, the word is...
Let me just see if that's the plumber.